So I want to talk today about Human Torch, right? He's never really been a huge problem outside of that one season where he was absolutely meta. And he was never meta for his pseudo-dive capabilities, because he's a pseudo-dive character. He's half poke, half dive. And I just think that there is something that we can change about him to fix him in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to show you my list of things. I don't think he needs a full rework. I just think how some things function should change in order to fix him, because he's either been top of the tier, bottom of the barrel, not really an in-between for him. So if you like some of the ideas, you want to mix the match with other ones to tell me what you would do, go ahead, comment below. I do read all of the comments. I would love to hear your ideas. But anyways, let's get into it. First off, primary fire. I'd widen that thing up, add 2 or 3 pellets, but lower the damage of the pellets. That way it works like a real shotgun, because right now it's a little narrow, like how Elsa's is a shotgun, but not really, you know? But the fall-off damage is nice on his, so I wouldn't change that, because it's pretty good. The biggest change that I want to make is to his ultimate, and to his flame fields, right? So flame fields, when you throw them down, they explode. If you throw down 4 and you make a big area, and then you slam on one of them, I'm pretty sure only the one you slam on disappears. I would change it so that way the one you slam on, that disappears, it explodes, but the other ones, they also explode, and the whole barrier is dropped. I would change it to be this way for very simple reason, and that reason is, well, he gets poke value from having that barrier up while he's in a pseudo dive. Now, most of my changes have to do with he needs to choose poke or dive, and both of them need to be somewhat strong, and the fact that makes him strong is that he has options, because when he was super heavy poke, when he was super meta that season, he wasn't meta because he dove a lot. He was meta because he could sit in the back, get good kills, get tons of damage with his flame fields and the huge area flame field that he has on cooldown, and then he also can just dive, get bonus health for diving. He has the Susan Storm team up. He had so much that kept him alive while being able to poke from anywhere in the game because he's a flyer, and that was the biggest problem. And his mobility and the melee canceled trick to change his hitbox so it was harder to get headshots on him just made him crazy. Now, so that's what I would change to his primary fire and to his flame fields. I would change that big area ability to do more damage, but get rid of the do more damage, increase the cooldown. So that way he pokes I want to make his poke stronger and his dive stronger, but make them mutually exclusive. They cannot exist at the same time, is my main thing. So like when he dives, all of his poke value should be gone. And the way they change his mobility, I think, really aligns with that. Now, the last thing that I think that they could change about him is his ultimate. His ultimate it's kind of doo-doo buns. I've never, ever been scared of a Johnny Storm ultimate. And I know they're like, oh, it can kill through support ults. If the support stands in it, and stands in like 4 of them, and just stands there and takes it like a good boy. And who's gonna do that? Nobody's gonna do that. It doesn't make sense. I think they should allow his tornadoes, when he dives, they should do a little explosion, like his flame fields do. I don't know if they already do. I'm not a huge Human Torch guy. He was my top DPS for a while, and then I just fell off because I wanted to learn more tanks, so I'm pretty sure they don't, but they might. And I would make that, so that way you have an incentive to dive to them, because his ult is very pokey, but doesn't help his dive at all. There's no reason for him to dive in with an ult. I also think that players getting hit by his ultimate, the enemy team getting hit by his ultimate, takes a little bit off of his shift cooldown. With how they changed his shift, I think they should shorten the cooldown by just a tiny bit. Not a lot, but every time a player gets hit, a tick of it. And maybe just the first tick or something. The problem is when I change this, it makes him sound really, really broken. but I feel like he's not because of his low health and how this would play, because I want him to dive in and bam bam with the headshots. Like, he should be a really good pseudo diver, but as soon as he gets that first pick on somebody, he's kind of out in the open. You have to position very well. Where you dive to is very important, and if they leave that flame field area as you dive and they don't get hit with it, okay, now you have to get out. Like, it should require setup, planning, things like that. And I think on paper he sounds broken when I describe this, but he's not. Because the last thing I want is when he's in those flame fields, he heals like 5, anywhere from 5 to 15 health per second. I don't want it to be more than a Mantis heal. It should be very low, but just enough to incentivize him staying down there and hitting full headshots with the shotgun, because there is no reason, whenever I played Human Torch, there's no reason to dive with the ultimate. You just fly away till you have a good vantage point, ult, like say, oh, you can't walk there now, especially in a choke point, and then throw your actual flame fields that are off cooldown by the time your ult ends, connect them, and then you just deal with it. There's no reason to go down there while your ult is active or when you have your ult to ult. That's pretty much all I would change. I just want to make the dive better, because I think as a pseudo dive character, he's gonna be really cool. He would be really cool. But most of the time, most of the time when they buff him for poke. And if they buff him for poke, he gets way good. And if they don't buff him for poke, they don't change or add any new abilities that make it more valuable to be in the backline. And I know I'm not super high ranked, so maybe the top tier Human Torches already play the way that I think he would be really cool to play. If that's true, let me know, because I genuinely haven't seen Human Torch in so long, even in higher ranked games. But like when I watched streams or when I watched a few of them MCR matches, I didn't really see him. So if he plays that way, let me know. Let me know what you think of my changes, any changes you would already make. You would make that yourself. And that's pretty much it for me today. See you guys in the next one. Wet Willy.